Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the KiwiCast. I'm once again here with the boys. We got Adrian. How are you doing?
You see,
There's also Mike. How's it going?
I'm doing things.
And then Brady.
I just got done eating a butterscotch candy.
Ooh.
Oh wow, that's crazy. No, but yeah. So yeah, that's we were doing a podcast. There were some technical
Transition.
difficulties, which is why there's a. That's why we didn't do one. We didn't upload last week because there were some technical difficulties, and so now Brady's the
Yes.
one recording it, but I'm still the host and I'm the one editing the podcast.
Jaden's
So
got
that's
a
gonna
shitty
be,
Mac computer, and it's our downfall. Mac is
I don't
our
think
downfall.
anybody really noticed we didn't upload, to be honest.
Hey man, wait, this is actually a real thing. Now we can like presume 17 people are watching because that's how many views the other one had. So I'm just saying,
I can check to see if we got any more.
our 17 people who watched our last podcast are they're fuming. And in fact, we've probably lost all of them. They're fuming
Is it just
so much.
me or
We
was
lost them
Mike
all.
cutting
That
out
was
a lot?
super laggy, yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh,
all.
It's
Really
because
laggy.
I'm Discording on my phone and I was changing tabs to look at how many views we have.
God damn it, Mike! No, we'll leave that to us, okay?
Yeah, you better
All right.
not do
Fine,
that.
fine.
We'll make
You guys-
this
you
is
guys-
very
you do the
unprofessional.
research, boys. You do the
Okay.
research.
We're gonna
boys.
have to
It's up to
anyway start now.
22.
It's up to
Yeah.
22.
That's cool.
Okay.
I didn't
Well,
want
It
anyway.
is cool.
Anyway.
By the way, I looked up KiwiCast on YouTube, and there's like 3 different KiwiCasts.
Yeah, but we're
people.
gonna be the best one, so it doesn't matter.
We are like the 10th thing that shows
Have-
up when you look up
Have any of
KiwiCast.
them talked about Nicolas Cage or Willy's Wonderland or Airbud? No, they haven't.
This dude has a Cube World Let's Play.
Stop,
Ooh.
stop advertising other people's podcasts on our podcast.
Sorry. Anyway, no, we're the one and only KiwiCast. Welcome back. Right. So I don't know if anybody objected to this, but before we started the podcast, I mentioned that I wanted to talk about just like video games and shit.
Go for it.
Because Mike and I were talking about like Tekken and like documentaries about like super interesting. What were you talking about?
We can have my infamous Adrian Mike debate where we talk about balancing in video games and how it should be done, particularly in playing games.
Oh yeah, you guys argue a lot about Smash Bros, right?
Yeah.
What are you guys' positions on that?
Look, man, all I'm saying is that constant meta updates are a good thing.
I think
agree.
constant meta updates are shit.
Really?
I think
Okay.
I think you have to let players have enough time to figure out what is good in the game, because I don't think that many game devs give people enough time to figure it out before they start changing shit up. It's like chess, right? Like chess has been around for thousands of years, but people are still finding like new ways to play it and discovering like new openings and shit.
And every single game, that one dick just goes around castling his king.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's the best strat.
I mean, it
But
really
but
does
that's the thing
depend
is-
on the game, though.
So you should nerf
That's
it.
the thing, though.
Yeah,
No,
I think it
you
depends on the
shouldn't nerf
game.
it. It's nerfed by the players figuring out strategies against it. There are strategies against people who castle early. It's like a conservative move, so you can make really like fast offensive moves to offset it.
I guess that's true. I don't know.
It's like a
I'm
defensive play.
taking more so Adrian's side, but however,
So the
I
wrong
stopped
side.
playing. I mean, I stopped playing the Pokemon card game because like the meta kept changing so fast, and I had to keep buying new cards. It was just not like fun to play anymore because I had to keep buying new stuff.
It's not
So
really
I kinda
conducive to
restricted
competition either. I don't think it's very conducive to competition. Like
Yeah.
you can
I
see
mean-
that with fucking. They've got tournaments for games every year, like big games, like League or some shit like that. And it's totally different. It's a totally different game every year that they play. Like if you watch like finals at big tournaments, it's totally different game every time.
Isn't
Well,
that
if
good
you
though?
consistently
No, it's
win
not good.
if you can consistently win when they continue to change stuff, doesn't that mean you're better?
No, yeah. I watched
But
a video.
nobody does. That's the thing. It feels like it's almost a coin flip at some points. It's just like, oh, is the game devs going to balance a certain like player in a way that like benefits their teammates because they're just good at those kinds of parts of the game?
No, look, Mike. I'd much rather it be a coin flip than it be the same meta every single year. I don't know, because I watched a video of like
But
this.
at least then it's in like the player's hands.
Not really, because when there's a meta,
Not
and
really.
it's constantly a coin flip. I watched a video of like the Pokemon like national tournament, and it was a guy running Greninja Break, like a deck with that, and then a guy running like a Volcanion deck, and basically those were like the two big decks at the time, and so it was just a coin flip of who would win, and he won one game, the other guy won one game, and then it was like it's basically a coin flip, and then the
Well, I
meta
don't.
changed, and then but like
Well,
if
that's
it
what.
hadn't
Well,
changed,
that's
it
what
would be
I'm
like the
saying
same
is
two decks in finals every year.
I don't think that's true though, because people would get creative and they would find ways to beat those decks. They're not
Well,
unbeatable decks. You
I
can
don't know,
make a
maybe
deck
that's just
that hard
I
counters
think
it.
that Pokemon's like a different beast to tame because, or like at least a card game is, because there's like not
Yeah.
as many like options to tech in to deal with things. But if you think about like,
Well, then they should add them.
MOBA, well, they try, and every single time
Well,
they're just
here's the
not good
thing.
enough.
I think the devs need to be given, and the devs or like whoever is balancing the game, whether it's like a card game or whatever, like if there's not enough creative options, if there's not enough options to be creative for the players to find good ways to deal with things that are top of the meta, then that's what you should be adding. You shouldn't be changing the entire meta and like changing stats of cards and like moving cards in and out of rotation. You should be adding more options to the players to be able to tech against the top decks.
Yeah, but that's just kind of garbage because you're just
yeah.
like playing
Why?
around the one good thing. It's like, oh, this
Okay,
one
but
hero's
that's the thing,
super
though.
busted right now. Everybody just
no.
counter pick him, but then
Yeah,
like,
no. Yeah.
oh, you didn't pick him, and now this whole game is just garbage.
But then enough people are going to counterpick him, and then that'll become the new meta, and then you'll have to figure out the counter to the counter, and then it just evolves from there.
No, I mean I would much rather have a game where you kind of make your own like deck without having to think about what's going to destroy you. Because there's no fun in just making something specifically to counter one deck or like one character in a fighting game.
You'd rather play a game and not think about your strategy? Isn't that the
No,
point?
I'd much rather strategize in like a more fun way, not having to think about I don't know, because like when we play like Battlegrounds, in like Hearthstone, like there's no meta
Yeah, that's so much more
necessarily.
fluid. That game is so much more fluid though, because you can change up as the game progresses. But like that's even a good example too, because you can't go through that. It's almost that's an interesting one because Battlegrounds is almost kind of like a microcosm of like it, because you can like see it in visualized over time, because it's you can watch as the game progresses, and in order to win, if you want to actually win and get to the top, you have to tech certain cards against the people who are doing well.
That's true.
And then the other person who's doing well has to tech cards against you to stop your techs, presumably.
No, yeah, that's fair. But still, I think it's definitely more balanced than other than like the games you're talking about. I feel like there's still like
I think
meta
Battlegrounds is
changes.
really balanced.
Oh yeah, I love it.
But then once again, Battlegrounds is also like completely different because, or like at least the analogy where you talk about the like how that meta is adapting, because it's not a meta. That's
No,
just
it's not
like
really a meta,
that game.
yeah.
We're talking about like
It's just
a
it's just the
grand
gameplay.
scope. If one hero is too busted and a million players are like, well, I'm going to play this one instead to counter him, then it doesn't really necessarily dissuade them from playing that person because they don't always get countered. The people on your team are just going to counter pick people's to that counter pick, which doesn't change anything about your team comp because you're still just playing that overpowered dude.
Change something about the team comp though.
I don't know. Adrian, what game were you thinking of when you were saying that? Because I'm just imagining Smash Bros.
Sure, it's Smash Bros. League and Dota are probably like the two like ones that I think it's like most applicable
to. Is
to.
awful. I think League's balancing is abysmal.
Yeah, I think you get like two sides of it. Like Dota releases like a big huge update like every like 1 or 2 years, and releases like a couple patches like every 3 months. Like it's not crazy. It's nothing spectacular. Whereas League does it like what, every 2 weeks.
Sooner than that, sometimes every week, and sometimes they have to hard patch stuff too. Well, it also has to do with a lot of the League developers don't quite like. It seems like they don't quite understand what's really strong in their game, so they'll just release shit that's like super crazy strong, and then they have to like hard patch it in like 2 days. I don't know.
Yeah, and do you think that's a bad thing?
Yes, I think it's bad on 2 levels. It's bad that they released it in the first place and didn't really much care about balancing it anyway. In that case, you shouldn't release it at all. But it's also bad that like that happens, and then also they have to hard patch it to get rid of it. It's awful on all levels. That's
just like new people though, right? Like
yeah, because
the
It's
point.
like
They're
once
just
every
like,
3 months, or not 3 months,
why?
like once every 3 weeks.
Yeah,
It
it's
seems.
like you got to make them as busted as possible
Well, I know
because
why they do
otherwise
it. I
nobody
guess
wants
it's
to
not.
play in.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. I guess the reason why they do it is not. It's not like, oh, they don't know how to balance their game or they don't know what they're doing. Like, no, they know what they're doing. It's not healthy for the game environment. They just want to make money off of it.
Yeah.
It's whatever. If financial interest comes before the well-being of the game, then I think that's a product of them wanting. I think like really quick updates and meta changes are a product of wanting it to be super financially viable. Because like I think chess is like a great example. If the dude who made chess was like, yeah, I'm gonna sell this shit for 1,000,000 schmeckles, and he was like, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna get it more popular for everybody by changing the game up a little bit every week. I'm gonna add new rules to chess to make it a little more popular, so people will come in. That's what League's like.
There's no updates to chess, and
exactly. Thank God.
Like the internet ruined video games in a way.
You might have to elaborate on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so for a few reasons. First, microtransactions. Because with internet, you can download parts of the game continually after it's been released. They never release the full game anymore. It's like you release a small part of the game, just enough to call it a game.
That's true.
And then they slowly release more of it as DLCs because they can make more money off of that. They made you pay full price for a game, and then they make you pay for each part progressively of the game. So the internet did that. Because without the internet, you just have to buy a new game.
Yeah,
Or
that's not like an
sequels of
issue
the
with the metas though. That's like an issue with just the way
All
the games
games.
are made now.
Yeah,
You know,
I
like it's
think
like a
all
pay to win
games.
thing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic point. Oh my god, I have so much stuff to add to that.
No, I think they're connected.
Yeah.
I think
I
that
hate some games because of that. Like,
well, I think
I hate a lot of games because of that.
Well, there's what, and a lot of people don't play games like that too because of that same reason. Like fucking, what was it? Was it Battlefront that like right when it came out, like Battlefront 2? There's a huge uproar because it was like crazy, like
yeah, you'd have to play like 100,000 hours to get a character, or you could buy it.
Yeah.
So they incentivize people to buying things. That's
I just wanted to play Darth Vader, man. He's just cool. So what if I dropped $100 on him and he's better than everybody else? It's cooler this way.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is like a lot of card games are kind of pay to win. Because like if you know what cards are good, you just buy those cards online or something.
I think card games are a lot more balanced. They're able to be balanced a little better than most games.
With meta changes.
Well, actually, even to Mike's point,
changes.
card games sort of are like in a weird limbo where they can't mess up the meta. Like if they do something too bad, it's like it's over for them. Like taking it back to Pokemon, like they release like what, and you said every 3 months, but they never like release any like changes to the cards. They're never like, and this guy gets a little more health, a little less health, etc.
Yeah, that's true, and that's because it's not online, so that's like a good
they don't
thing.
nerf.
Yeah, I mean they do ban cards, but that's like a completely different thing.
I think Hearthstone exists in a really interesting space because it kind of embraces both aspects of that. Because Hearthstone has some formats for when you play the actual card game where you can play the wild format, which is literally just every expansion that's ever been out. And that's why it's called wild, because it's just fucking chaos. And you can play every expansion that's ever been released on wild, and you can see all the metas forming from there. But there is also issues with that because people have found out ways that you can just like insta-win with certain combinations of cards that they didn't balance appropriately when they released them. But and they're not going to balance them. They don't. Very rarely in Hearthstone do they change costs on cards or anything like that. And it's a
actually they did it really
balance.
recently.
They do it. Well, they do it with Battlegrounds. You said, right?
Well, they do it with Battlegrounds, and also like that last year's set. It was like 3 weeks in before they did like a patch update, and they were like, "We fixed everything about this new update. We just released. Sorry, bros."
It doesn't happen often, though. At least it doesn't happen as much as fucking League does. I'm not completely fully opposed to like a little bit of changes when it's necessary, but I don't think it should be once a week. Certainly, I just think it doesn't give players enough time to be able to respond. Like it doesn't give enough time or creative limits to people to allow them to figure out how to respond. But also Hearthstone's really good with that too, because people find counters to decks all the fucking time. And there's like video essays. You can go online and watch like video essays and huge YouTube channels that play Hearthstone. and they're like, oh shit, this is like how you beat this guy. Like this guy's playing this like certain archetype of deck.
Throw a
This is
crab
how
in
you beat it.
there.
Yeah, exactly. This guy's playing pirates, so throw in your card that eats pirates. You know,
Yeah.
that's an old school Hearthstone thing that doesn't really happen much anymore. But
Yeah, I agree that there's like a balance to, how long you. I don't know. Like I don't like the idea of changing a game every week.
no, I get really upset
Because
with
yeah,
League about that. It feels like, and for me, I'm not like a crazy one of the people who plays League like religiously and is like, I play this like 10 games a day or some shit like that. I just like casually play it, and it's frustrating because it feels like every time I go back to play it, there's something new about a champion that I can never fully get comfortable with the changes they make because they fucking upend it so quickly. It's just rough.
Yeah, but like I think more of your problem is like players need to like adapt to the meta. But I think at least as far as like high skill players are like concerned, or even like medium skilled players are like, oh, they pick that person, I counter pick with this person, and I buy these
Sure.
items. Like I mean, like it's that simple almost, and like people that are like intelligent already like know the counter strats. So it's like if you're in like a professional game and somebody just like drops something like, oh, okay, well here's how we beat that dude,
Well,
then like you already have the response there.
what I think about that though is that I think a lot of people, what they do is they in higher level games, like really high level, when they're really good at the game, they won't pick the specific counter to the other player's like champion that they pick. They'll pick a counter that's just good enough of a counter that they'll still be able to counter them, but also is a champion that like helps the other aspects of the team, like is good at roaming or whatever, or good at like jungling. But like, and in that case, it sucks that they keep changing the numbers on those stats, because if I'm playing in a high level game and somebody picks this character and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pick this specific person so I can just enough counter them so that they won't be able to like launch off and like get really like fed in the game or anything like that. But also the character that I'm picking is able to like do these other things around the map. But if they keep changing those numbers on characters like that, then it skews that whole thing off. It's a very precise like decision making process at a really high level. And when you throw the numbers up every week, it throws your decision making completely for a loop. And then it feels like it's just a coin flip who wins. It
Yeah,
feels
but
like it's not up to the players.
And then even then, usually like in League, like they're not like doing like full reworks of the champions. They're just
You'd be
tweaking numbers.
surprised,
So
man.
like even in that essence, like even if the numbers shift slightly, like it's still at the benefit of everybody else that one person that was ridiculously overpowered is slightly less overpowered. And even if it's like not enough to overcome it, then any change is better than nothing.
They do like 5 reworks a year, man. They'll just change champions completely. Like at least 5 champions a year just get completely gutted and then have totally new kits added to them, and they just they completely change the identity. And that stuff is rough too, hard to see.
that
It's
sounds
like
messy. Ugh.
a lot of the times they do it to like really old, outdated champions. And I think they recently had a poll where you had to like go online and vote for which champion you wanted to be updated, which I actually thought that is sort of an example that's kind of cool about like the community getting to decide what should be balanced properly. That might be a little better too, because like I said, I'm not fully against balancing. I think it should be regulated to some aspect and not just like feels like every week somebody just like throws some new numbers at the wall and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna add that many numbers to this guy and take this many numbers away from this guy. Call it a week.
Nah, I bet it's like, or at least they're gonna try, or they probably at least try to like make it based around like the win percentages. If like that one person is just like 64% win rate, let's tweak those a little bit.
Well, you know what they did is that they used to have comments on the balance page where you could like they would post the patch notes and then you could comment on the patch notes in the client and be like, oh, this is like a real shit change or this is a good change. And they had little developer like insights that they call them that they put underneath every change to kind of like explain the change. And those like back when they first started were actually pretty like they're pretty good and they were actually pretty insightful for like the changes they were making. But people were criticizing the balancing so much that instead of changing their balancing process, they just took comments off of the balance changes. So they didn't change anything. They just changed people's ability to complain about it. And then on the developer insights, instead of actually having in-depth insights to why they were making the specific number changes, they just started putting like little jokes in there and shit and like little like memes about the champion. And it's like, really? Like it's like they're just dumbing the process down to like so that they don't have to try anymore. Like, oh, we're gonna make these changes, but we don't want to be criticized for them. And when we make bad changes, we're not gonna like reverse them or anything. Ugh.
Yeah, but I think once again, that's like, that's assuming that the community doesn't want those changes. Like the reason that they release updates is because people are like, I'm tired of getting beat over and over again by this one dude, or I'm sick
Okay,
of
so
never
maybe
seeing this
that
one person
player
because
who's
they're
getting
so garbage.
well, maybe the player who's getting beat down by that champion every game should sit down and think through what they need to be doing in the game. I don't think there's ever. I think that the disconnect between creativity on the player's part and skill in the game is becoming too wide, and you should be able to, in your mind, be able to think of a game plan before that allows you to counter those champions. And if you're just getting beaten over the head by the same dude, then like people are going to do that anyway. They're going to sit down and be like, "Oh, okay, let's like talk about what this guy specifically does, what I can do to counter him, like how I can dodge his shit and how I can like do better against that specific champion." And it doesn't need to have to, in order to like grow as a player and as a company who's making these games, you don't need to just change the numbers on them. Just sit back for a little bit and let people figure it out before you start changing numbers. It's like they're so paranoid that people are just going to leave because it's like, oh, my champion is so, the one I like to play is so underpowered. I'm just not going to play. I'm just going to leave the game. So what they do to remedy that is there's like, oh, we're going to buff you up like crazy and we're going to nerf this guy like crazy that nobody likes. And it's like, okay, but then you just created the problem in reverse again. It's I don't know. It's just like they swing the pendulum back and forth between unbalanced to properly balanced. But whenever the pendulum swings, it unbalances somebody else. It's like it's not everybody's going to be happy. And it's okay to have certain characters that are just shit. Like it's okay.
So not everybody's going to be happy. So it'd make more sense to change it up more frequently. So like groups of people are upset at one time, but not enough to the point where they're just like fed up with the game and never want to play again. But if you have the same stale meta for like a year, then people are like, okay, well, this is just the same game every single time. It's boring. It's over, and I'm over it.
I think that it would
That's
be
fair.
like that. I don't think that there are groups that are like unhappy and are going to stop playing the game. I'm saying that that's what the developers think is going to happen, and I think that's an inaccurate representation of what the community would do in those cases. I think most players, if they were actually committed to the game and wanted to get better at the game, most players would sit down and think through, how can I beat this specific person?
I mean, yeah, on Mike's point, I mean, chess has been the same since it was made.
Exactly.
And I mean,
And
people
people,
haven't really gotten bored of that. I guess
yeah,
it's different from like game to game. I mean, but every game, if you're playing against certain people, is pretty much the same game every time in chess. I don't know. I like playing chess with Mike. It's fun.
well, you know what I think is interesting about chess is that when they were like back in like the 80s or 90s or whatever, when they were like developing actual like artificial intelligence that was smart enough to like play games and shit, and they were like showcasing it to the world, and they made that program that was really good at chess, Deep Blue, and they were like, oh, this is the super program that beats everybody at chess, and it like beat all the high skill chess players. I thought it was so interesting that they took that same program and they put it on a checkers game, and it became like night and day. Like checkers is a game that like if you know all the ins and outs of it and you play it perfectly, you can win 100% of the time or tie 100% of the time. You can never lose. But the chess is such a nuanced game. It can still lose technically, even at its highest most level. It doesn't know how to win or tie every time. It can still lose, which is interesting. I think that's like, it shows that like some games are just never going to be able to be like fully understood and thought through. Like you're not always going to be good enough at a game to be able to win it every time. There's always some level of, and I guess with video games and stuff that comes with like RNG and like randomness, but there's always going to be some level where even if you play perfectly at chess, you could just lose like no matter what. And it's not even, it's interesting because it's not even an RNG thing. Chess has no RNG in it. It's fascinating. Like, how can you make a game that has zero randomness in it? However, you will always have a different outcome of the game every time you play it, and that outcome is not always, even if you're a perfect player, you won't always win every time. It's fascinating.
You
it's
know
just
what?
People think it's a perfect game. Chess is.
It really is. I really like that game. But what I was gonna say is that I feel like I want to get your guys' opinion on like Minecraft, because it's kind of this thing of like No, there's like a lot of RNG with like Minecraft speedruns and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, it's terrible.
And
Very
and
poorly
people
made.
like in the speedrunning community like hates how random it is, but also it's like so much more nuanced to like what Mike was saying. Like even if you're so good at Minecraft you can play it perfectly. Since it's random, you might just get unlucky. And so I don't know. What do you guys think
I
about
think
like the
Minecraft's a
balance?
cool example too, because Minecraft's not balanced at all ever, right? They don't release
No, yeah,
patch
no,
notes every week for Minecraft, like very
it's like
rarely.
completely luck. After like the 1.16 update, they made it so that like there was like this completely randomized trading thing that was like super good, but also you could just get really unlucky and it would ruin an entire run regardless of how good you are at speedrunning.
Yeah, to the
So that's
point
why a
where
lot of people got
speedrunners
fed up
started
with it.
cheating. It's crazy.
Well, you know what's also
Oh,
a
whoa,
cool
Dream
thing
didn't
about
cheat.
another cool thing about Minecraft is that game has very few, if you can call updates like meta changes, I guess. If like since its release, there has been zero change in how you beat the game. Like the foundations are still there. Some of the intricacies have changed a little bit, but the foundations of the game are very similar. They've never like radically changed anything about the game, and yet to this day, people are coming up with new crazy strategies for beating it quickly. I think that's a great example of like it goes to show like let's just give the players some time, give them a decade to figure shit out. You know, they're still going to be discovering new shit a decade from now to beat it. So why change it every week?
That's true. I don't know. I think that the
Sometimes it
Piglin
takes a while
update
to
to
discover
Minecraft.
things, like
The
speed
Piglin update to
bridging.
Minecraft.
Fucking speed bridging in Minecraft. Nobody like that wasn't even a thing back when the game first started. It's always been in the game, but it was recently popularized, and now people do it all the fucking time. It's just crazy.
True. Yeah. It took like a couple thousand years of human history for somebody to invent Marxism. Like,
exactly. And
just takes a while for the meta
the meta of humanity.
We need some meta updates to the Bible. I feel like some of the things are pretty outdated.
We need some meta updates to the Bible.
We need a meta update to OBS so that way it works on a Mac.
Yeah, so that way Jaden can actually record. Yeah. All right, I'm done with my balancing rant.
Are we going to talk about our tech problems?
Yes.
I mean, the tech problems weren't that bad. I mean, okay, so I recorded the podcast, the first episode of the podcast. I recorded it on my computer using OBS, and then the next week when we tried to record it, I couldn't do it because I'm on Mac, and for some reason OBS like messed up, and I couldn't record the audio in the Discord. It's not my fault. I have a Mac, okay.
It's not my fault.
And also Brady was cutting out a lot last week, so it wasn't all me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I didn't have good internet last week, so it was just not a good time for a podcast.
But we're in the clear now, boys, and now it's gonna be weekly, and we're gonna fucking grow and gain a following, and then we're gonna have cults made after us.
We should be more.
Let us know in the comments what kind of swastikas you want.
No, oh God, you can't say that. Jesus Christ, G.
Yeah, we should be consistent now because we have the software and we have not a Mac.
Now we're gonna get flagged for like inappropriate content.
It's okay. Not enough people watch this.
Here, someone edit that out. Whoever's editing it out, Jane, you edit us.
I'm editing it, and it's staying in.
Oh God.
We're luring in all the Nazis, and then we're gonna send them off.
Stop. We're gonna get flagged as like Nazi propaganda by the algorithm.
Oh no! What's wrong with saying that I hate them?
You can say you hate them, but don't say what swastikas should we make for our podcast cult.
Hey, the YouTube algorithm will not flag us for me saying that word, okay?
I think it will.
I'll report it. I'll report the podcast.
I'm gonna report the video and get it taken down.
You're gonna report the video. I told you, Jaden. I told you that the video would get taken down.
I actually have an idea for the visual. Well, first off, everybody, let's take a moment on the podcast. We did this off the podcast already. Let's take a moment to recognize Adrian's amazing artwork for the last episode.
Nobody got to see it. It was like at the very end.
It's beautiful. No, it's not. It switches in the middle of the episode.
Well, listen.
You didn't even watch
when you're listening to a podcast, usually you just put it down and you listen to it.
Yeah.
You don't like sit there and stare at the image that hasn't changed. So
No, exactly. I mean, to be fair, anybody who actually saw the image, though,
Well, we
it's
can
like a
always
little
do,
Easter
like-
egg.
let's put Adrian's art rep right now. Ready?
3, 2, 1. We're putting
Right now on the
Adrian's gonna make some
screen.
MS
It's-
Paint
Everybody,
art
pick up
later.
your
Are you guys gonna
phone.
make me
It's
do
so
that?
funny that you're
Look
saying
at
this
it.
because I'm literally working on it right now.
Yes,
Look at Adrian's
perfect.
art. We're gonna have his art from the previous podcast, and we're gonna have now his art from this podcast.
Jane, you
Right
gotta write
now.
down what's
Everybody
the
look.
timestamp on this so that Jane knows when to
Timestamp
edit
is
it.
30 minutes and 11 seconds.
Write it down, Jaden.
Okay.
We're gonna show everybody Adrian's art because he
So you'll
deserves
put
to
up-
be recognized for this.
We'll put up first Adrian's artwork from the last one, and now the new one for this episode.
And now we're gonna go Adrian's first. And now the second.
No, I'm not gonna do
Make
it like
this a
the 3
nightmare.
times you guys have said.
You're gonna make this a nightmare for Jaden.
Now anybody who's watched it is gonna have to. Now they'll have to like watch the actual screen. But anyway,
Yes.
I was thinking of the point of me bringing this up was I was thinking of some ideas for visuals that we could do. I thought it would be cool. You know how some other people record the Discord like channel, like
Yeah.
not that like where the chat is where people are like talking
Yeah, like
and they
where
show
it
like the
moves.
bubbles light up and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That could be cool to record. I that'd be interesting to put as a
We
visual.
could
Like
maybe integrate that later.
yeah, exactly. Not like this one, but like on
Yeah, definitely not this one. We're
Yeah,
not
I mean-
exactly
podcast. I
technically.
think that could be cool to try.
Yeah, we're not technically adept right now. It's not.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I could probably do
Humans.
it. I mean, I all I need is a screen recording software, and then I can just edit it in line
Exactly.
with the audio.
And then they can see our hilarious names in our server and also our funny profile pictures too. It'd be great.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
We'll just show it up.
Jaden's profile picture and name deserve to be shared across the world. So
Well,
does
it's not
Brady's,
original.
frankly.
Copyright infringement.
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 He's gonna get copyright infringement on his ass. You're gonna be gone.
But also it'll help for people who are like watching it. They'll know who's talking and who's not if they really care. Sometimes it's hard to discern the voices in the mess of the podcast.
Do you really think that your white ass voice sounds anything like Adrian's?
No, but it might sound like Brady's.
Yeah, no, Mike. Sorry.
Very, very distinct. Very non-distinct. Sound like the same person.
Yeah, we're the same. We sound exactly
Yeah, man, we're the same. We sound like
the same, Mike. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I'm
Fuck
Mike.
you guys. God damn it.
Wow, that was pretty good, Mike. When's Brady gonna do his impression?
All right, you know what? Give it a shot, Adrian. Give it a shot. Do a mic impression. Go for it.
Hi, it's Mikey.
Jaden?
Oh my God.
Oh, you even cut out.
Yeah, you cut
Yeah, I
out
know.
so hard.
Perfect.
It was
That was
so
a
high
perfect
pitched that it
impression.
Cut out.
No, I don't. We should all, in one podcast, just do like the same Lois impression for like the entire podcast. Or like
The whole
Peter.
time.
Lois.
Peter.
Oh, Peter.
Out
Peter.
podcast.
Peter.
Oh, KIWICAST.
Out KIWICAST.
Oh,
Can we get
Peter.
Seth MacFarlane on our podcast?
That's gonna be our first guest. We're gonna have Seth MacFarlane.
Guest cast. We'll do guest cast later.
Welcome to the Kiwi Guest Cast.
Today's guest
Today
is
we have Raycon.
Raid Shadow Legends is our guest.
Today's guest is Raid Shadow Legend.
Have you ever wanted to raid?
In a shadow?
As a legend.
That's great. I
Boy,
love it.
do I!
Whoop-de-fucking do. So anyway,
We're
yeah,
gonna talk about Nick Cage again.
No, I saw a funny meme with Nick Cage the other day, actually. I can't remember what it was. But I remember thinking this would be funny to talk about on the podcast, and then I didn't do it.
We're gonna throw a Nick Cage meme up now.
Throw the Nick Cage meme up now.
Fuck you.
All right.
Everybody look at the Nick Cage meme.
And take it off now. Thank you, Jaden.
And see.
And Mike cut out.
Oh.
Oh,
So sad.
jeez.
I hope it's just a picture of Nick Cage over like Brady's face.
No, I'm just gonna make it like a giant fuck you.
Yeah.
Just a big middle finger.
Yeah, it's not even gonna
So-
be a meme.
What did everybody do for Easter?
What y'all kids do for Easter?
What you guys do for Easter?
Eggs.
I'll tell you what I
Egg.
did for Easter. You did an
Did
egg?
you have eggs?
No comment.
Yeah, no comment there.
He is an egg. Brady, that's really insensitive to people who have eggs.
I thought you were
women.
gonna say it's insensitive to people who don't celebrate Easter.
Oh.
Oh.
Are there people who
That's
don't
fine.
celebrate Easter?
Yes, Mike. Everybody's not Christian.
I knew
Literally, like 50% of the world.
that. Okay.
Probably
I
more.
understand. Okay. God.
God, you're so insensitive.
So anyway, God's not real.
Oh my God. That's what this episode of the podcast is going to be. Does God exist? Cast.
Gamers
Ooh.
and
Does God
God.
exist?
KiwiCast episode 2.
Gamers and God. Ugh.
What's the difference?
Godlike.
Rip.
Shadow Legends.
Combo.
Shadow Rip.
Okay, we're going down a really deep hole right now of not saying anything.
That's what she
And
said.
just making noise.
Uh,
So what are we gonna talk about now?
No, man. This is the podcast. This is what we talk about. Nothing.
No.
Just gonna sit around and make noise.
I mean, we could theoretically keep talking about video games. What do you guys? Are there any future
I don't know.
video games you guys
Brady
are
wasn't
excited for?
Brady wasn't very talkative.
yeah,
Let's let him
I don't
decide.
play those.
He doesn't play like the
Sorry,
stupid
guys.
games we play. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right, let's talk about stupid games.
Okay, well I've
What do you
got
guys think about
Stupid
Fortnite?
games.
Yeah.
two options for
screw
you
Fortnite.
guys. We've already had a
Oh.
nice discussion about the meta. We could talk about business practices as well, or we could take this back to last week, in which we left, or I guess 2 weeks ago, where we left off with
Don't tell him.
the homework for somebody to be assigned to watch Good Burger and find scenes.
Oh yeah, did
that we
anybody
could-
watch Good Burger?
I did
I
not watch
did.
Good Burger. You did? Do you have?
I
Did you write down scenes?
Yes.
I've written down some scenes. So
Oh,
if that's
Let's
something
do
that
that.
we're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
interested in.
All right, it's just like a
Yes.
game show. All right,
This
Yeah,
is like a
game.
game
All right,
show.
ask each
welcome
of us. Ask each of us.
to the
Tell which one
Kiwi
is
Game
the
Show.
which one is the scene that actually happened.
It's like
Which-
Jeopardy.
Which one is Good Burger?
Wait, so do you have like a list
of
of scenes, and so then you're gonna say a scene, and then we'll have to say whether or not we think it actually happened?
I do. I used to have like 18 different scenes, but I lost half of them, so I've got
Alright.
9.
Ask
Okay.
each of us.
Okay, that's
ask
fine.
each of us.
Yeah, we'll
like
go in
3 then,
order. We'll go in
or
order.
something.
And whoever gets the most right is God. All
What
right.
do you
We
mean
like
order?
buzz
We're
in?
not standing in
Are
a
we-
circle or anything.
Well, who wants to go first?
Are we like buzzing in, or are we? Probably
No,
not.
we'll
Just
just
each
we'll
of
just
us.
go we'll just go true or false on each one. We'll just go around in the circle.
Let's get everybody's answer. Let's go through.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
ask the question, everybody answer one at a time,
Yeah, Brady's right.
and then we'll tally it up at the end.
Perfect. All right, then let's start with number 1. The delivery to Shaq, because we've already established that Shaq is in the movie,
Right.
is given to him when they drive to the place in the Good Mobile, which is indeed the burger from the SpongeBob movie. Thoughts?
Are you serious?
I'm saying false. There's no way.
Yeah, no, that's false.
False.
Wait, are you saying
It's
it's
true.
actually? Wait,
What
wait,
the
no,
hell?
No.
It is not the actual
It's not the one
SpongeBob
from
hamburger.
You're
SpongeBob.
wording it wrong.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm
you're
wording
not
it
right.
wrong.
Yeah, that's
I thought you meant
definitely
that it was
not right.
like legitimately the one from SpongeBob.
Same
The
here.
cartoon vehicle
Yeah.
in the live-action Good
Yeah.
Burger movie.
Well, they've got very similar looks, you know.
Okay.
Oh no, he's got a
Anyways.
point.
All right,
next.
then let's
So we're
go.
driving a hamburger. That's the point that we're trying to make.
Let's go to the next one. After experiencing a Vietnam flashback, Otis is tackled by Ed.
True, that's true.
I don't think
True.
it's true. I think it's false.
That's true.
It's true.
Fuck.
Yeah, I remember.
Because they were in like an insane asylum, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's actually earlier in the movie, believe it or not.
What?
It's even better.
If any part of the
wait.
movie would have Vietnam flashbacks, I figured it'd be.
I was thinking of the wrong. When did it happen? I thought they were in the prison.
No, that's way, but I mean, God, the prison is whack, man. Oh. It's way earlier when they're just like chilling in the Good Burger. They're all upset because they're just about to get shut down by Mondo Burger, and Ed's like skating around through the place. And as he looks at Otis, Otis has a Vietnam flashback.
Oh wow!
And they get
Okay.
knocked down.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
that's good to know. I got it right,
Next,
but
I guess.
I wasn't.
Oh man,
I guess I wasn't right.
All right, this
Yeah.
one's
I
this
got
one's
0,
a simple one.
and you guys have 1 point. Let's keep track.
All right,
Can't
Dan
imagine.
Schneider kisses Otis on the face.
False.
true.
True.
It is indeed true.
Yes.
Are any of these false?
No, we
What?
agreed on this last week during the podcast that he was in the movie.
Yeah.
I think he was in the movie, but
All right,
And so,
next. Keenan gets knocked off the roof by an inflatable pool toy.
True.
false.
This is the first one that I'm gonna say is false.
It's true.
Yes.
Dude, are any of these false?
Come back.
That's the point. That's the point.
Oh my god.
Come back.
All right, next.
Wait, I'm just gonna preemptively say true.
Mondo Burger has strippers on the top of the counter, and one of them falls down with a burger into Ed's mouth.
What?
False.
No, that's false. I already said true. But I'm
True.
sticking with that. I'm sticking with it.
It is indeed false. Sorry, Jim.
Oh,
Let's go.
God. Yeah.
What's the score?
I got 2.
What's the score?
I have 2.
I have 3.
Pretty sure I have 2.
All right,
Okay, let's go.
next. During that same shack scene, there is naked men in the locker room who are being interviewed by people who were also interviewing Shaq.
That sounds too specific to be false.
True.
True.
Wait. The people in the locker room are naked and they're being interviewed?
Yes,
Let's say true.
it's
They're
in
not-
it's in the background.
Are you saying they have towels on though, right?
Yeah,
Okay, then true. Yeah.
that is true.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, all right, we're
Going
gonna
all
have
in, baby.
this is what we call the Kurt round. There's only 2 questions, but I think it's entertaining. True or
Kurt.
false? Kurt headbutts a man and throws him to the ground, killing him instantly.
False.
True.
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, Kurt
Not that
headbutts
difficult.
a man, throwing him to the ground, and kills him.
I'm sorry, which character is Kurt?
He is the
evil
boss
guy.
of Mondo Burger, who says, if you
True.
mess with me, you go in the grinder.
Yeah,
He
true,
doesn't-
true.
Yeah, it's unfortunately false because he doesn't
Oh,
kill him.
let's go!
However, I think it's important to recognize that after he headbutts him, he does indeed throw his body into a TV from the 80s, which then blows up.
God, Adrian, you can't add in these little slightly true things.
Well,
that
no,
are-
but I
like
think-
these-
You've
I like
sprinkled
these
lies
these
into.
little trivia aspects of it.
That's the first one that's been
What's the
like that,
score?
believe it or not.
What's the score? I have 5.
I've got 2.
Oh,
I have
you
3. I have 3.
Yeah, I also have 3.
Let's go.
Is it all
Choose
3?
one.
Oh, we have 1 more question. Oh, wow. Okay, well, this is worth 18 points. I'm just kidding.
It should be.
All right. So I've done a tally, and I want you to guess on a scale of 1 to 10, how many times does Kurt say the line, "You go in the grinder"?
8.
5.
I'm gonna go with 7.
The answer is 6. Mike and Jaden are the closest.
Oh.
However, I also kept a tally on how many times "You go in the grinder" is said in total, and 8 is actually correct.
Let's go.
So, as far
Perfect.
off as he was. Yeah. hmm
We're all winners.
Wow. We're all winners today.
We're all
boys.
winners.
We're all winners today in Good Burger.
We're all wieners.
We're all
Bad
winners.
burger.
That was a great combo round. I have a final topic for the podcast if y'all are interested. Jaden and I were talking about this earlier.
Let's do it.
Of course
Yeah.
The
I'm
final
interested
topic is have you ever had a really good soda that
That's a good
is
question.
it's thanks Jaden.
God.
Have you ever had a really good watered down soda that is better than a shitty good soda? Do you need
I'm
me to repeat?
confused.
Wait, we're gonna need an example.
So
I'm really confused.
So like root beer is a good soda, right? We can agree that root beer is a
No.
good soda.
I don't like root
No.
beer. 0 out of 10. You have to
And-
find
Okay,
another
what,
option.
what do you
Sucks.
guys think is a good soda?
Coke, Dr Pepper.
Sure,
Dr.
I'll
Pepper's
go in
pretty
on.
good.
You
I'll go in
basic
on
pig.
Coke. I'll go
Okay.
in on that. Even,
We'll say Coke. Coke is a good soda. You know how sometimes when you get your Coke from like a soda fountain, it's like watered down and shit? It's not good.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one of the options. Watered down Coke is like not
Okay.
great. So what's like a really shitty soda?
Well, they
that
don't
you
like
know
root
of?
beer, so it's here's
Yeah,
like the
yeah, so
dilemma,
root
right?
beer.
If you had
Okay,
to, would you rather
so-
drink the watered down Coke for the rest of your life, or just plain old root beer?
Oh,
Or
God.
just yeah. So that's like
Plain root
essentially
beer,
the question.
probably.
Oh, I guess this all comes down to personal preference and the specific soda type.
Pineapple
No,
Fanta.
no. This is life or death,
Well, let's
Adrian. There is a
talk about
correct answer.
Okay,
It's life or death.
Adrian, it's watered down pineapple Fanta.
Oh,
Or orange soda from the dollar store.
I would drink orange soda from the dollar store.
Come on, man, pineapple Fanta.
Yeah, but it's
It's watered down.
It's
It's
watered
like-
down.
It's like a seltzer. It's like a seltzer. It's just like a very hint. It's just a small hint of pineapple.
Quote, it's like a seltzer.
Just a small
False.
hint of pineapple. False.
False.
Yeah.
You won the bonus
Is
round.
this a true or false round? Yeah. Would you rather drink root beer or watered down Coke? Show your work.
Show your work.
God, this is difficult, actually.
It is
Oh.
difficult. I would drink watered
It
down root
depends
beer
on the
over
soda.
a shitty soda. Like if it
It
was
depends
like
on my
Squirt.
alternative.
True.
And
what
it depends on what's watered down.
Well, let's come to a collective real quick about what's like a really bad soda. And because I'm not going to agree on root beer being a bad soda.
No,
Why? Because you're like 60?
Yes.
I like root beer.
caffeine-free soda.
I do like caffeine
Okay,
free
A and
soda.
W can eat my ass in a good way.
In a good
I'm
way.
a mug root beer
As in,
kind of guy.
as in I love them so much.
And I only
Future
let people I
sponsor,
love eat my
potentially.
ass.
It's a potential future sponsor.
Yeah, A&W. Yeah, let's not piss off too many soda brands.
Have you ever heard anybody
We're
be
not going to get
sponsored by a
sponsored by,
soda
like,
brand?
by,
Yeah, no.
like, fucking Fanta, alright?
Yeah, if Matt
This
Pat can't
episode's
get sponsored by
sponsored by
Diet Coke, then
Pepsi.
we're never getting there.
Yeah, that's true. He's
You
not
guys
wrong.
ever had the Crush drinks?
Oh, I don't
Orange
like
Crush?
Okay, can we agree that like Crush isn't the best?
Crush is pretty shit,
It's not
yeah.
the best.
Yeah, like Orange Crush, like Fanta or Sunkist would be better than Crush.
So-
Pineapple Fanta.
Pineapple Fanta is the best soda.
All right. So, would you rather just drink plain old Crush for the rest of your life or watered down pineapple Fanta?
It's
Well,
tough,
watered down
man.
pineapple Fanta isn't pineapple Fanta.
What?
Watered down pineapple Fanta is not pineapple Fanta
Because
because it's not how it's supposed to taste.
That doesn't make it
so
not the soda.
so then your choice would be Crush.
I'd go in on Crush, yeah.
Yeah, same. I do crush. Mr. Pibb. What happened to Mr. Pibb?
Pitbull?
Okay, seriously.
Mr. Worldwide.
Do you guys remember Mr. Pibb?
Yes, I do.
Have you seen it anywhere? Did you hear some groundbreaking news that they shut down? Because I haven't.
What are you on about?
You
Where
haven't
is
seen Pibb in
Mr.
a long-
Pibb? What happened to it?
What do you mean, what happened to it?
Why is it not sold?
Mr. Pibb is reverse Nick Cage. Let's just agree on that.
Mr. Pibb.
Bro, it was discontinued in 2001.
What? Then why do they
Um,
still like have it?
Brady drinking
Why
that shit
did
when
they
he was
have
a
it?
baby.
No, they used to have it at McDonald's in like 2010.
Maybe in the South.
I don't remember that.
No, where we live,
No, they had a fucking Mr. Pibb.
Oh, yeah, so you see,
they still have it
Mr.
at the.
Pibb has been retired. However, Pibb Extra is
Yeah,
now
yeah.
the new
Oh.
rebrand.
So that's
Pibb
still a thing.
Extra?
Pibb
love that.
Extra.
So it's still a thing.
Yeah, technically.
But I haven't
Yes.
seen. Like, do you see it in the gas station?
No, I don't.
Exactly. They still sell it.
What's your point here, though?
My point is, we know it's a thing. We've had it before, but it's gone, and no one even heard that it was gone.
In the water. Mr. Pibb is gone. What the fuck is happening?
The world has gone to shit since
I'm
Harambe
surprised
died.
nobody's
Are you
thought of
kidding
this. I'm surprised none of you are like on the same page here.
Brady and I, or not Brady, Jaden and I were talking about Mr. Pibb earlier.
Really?
me? Yeah, just that we hate him.
In the same soda
Yeah,
conversation.
just
I thought
that
it was
we
pretty
hate
shit.
him.
I just miss it. What happened?
How do you miss it? It's trash.
No, it's fucking good. It's sweeter
No, it's
than Dr.
not.
Pepper. Yes, it is. It's better than Dr. Pepper.
That's not true.
I definitely
Guys,
is.
I
Dr. Pepper's
have a
good as
question.
shit.
I'm gonna change the topic because this is boring. Okay.
It's not boring, all right? Mr. Pibb
Okay,
is a
look.
shit soda, and
Listen,
Brady's
I sat
wrong.
through you morons talking about World of Warcraft.
All right, okay, do your thing, Jaden.
Okay, look. The other day I saw this like meme kind of thing where this guy was basically like, the day that like Harambe died was the time shift that sent us down the bad
So
timeline,
is.
and it's built up to like the pandemic and like all these political shitty things happening.
Oh, fuck.
And so my question is, do you feel like there's some other time shift that has happened, some other major event in the last like 10 or 20 years that has set us
Kobe?
down a course to failure?
The release of
As
G-Force.
humanity. The release of G.
Nick Cage being cast.
Kobe
as Spectre.
Bryant dying? That was that's when everything went to shit.
He's not wrong.
I mean, it's also kind of like when Stan Lee died.
yeah.
Yes. Like
That's a good
all
one.
these people started dying.
Yeah, but
But do you think
COVID
that was caused by Harambe though?
But
Like that's
didn't-
proven.
Was it?
wasn't Infinity War released after Stan Lee died?
Was the Civil
Yes.
War really the...
Okay, so we can't be on the bad timeline after Stan Lee died if Infinity War got released.
Okay, here's my thing. Was the Civil War the real event that set this all off? Because everything that came after the Civil War led to this.
No, but we've had good shit happen since then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
no,
had
you know
good
what?
shit happen since COVID.
I feel like I
Like-
can't remember
like
anything
what?
good happening. I can't remember anything good happening since the first Justice League movie.
Wait, can we watch the Snyder Cut together? You guys know
I
about
already
this?
did, but yeah, we
You
should.
watched it?
It's not good.
I can't imagine it's very good, but like
It's
I want
just as
to.
bad.
It was 4 hours and like there were some good things, but
Yeah, it's like watching... trying to think of a really shitty YouTuber. Like, sometimes they say stuff that you're like, wow, this is okay. And then for the rest of the time, you're just like, fuck this.
I don't know. Our president?
And cut.
Fucking
Yeah,
silent.
exactly. Can we please cut it on the silence there?
Thanks for watching the Kiwi podcast.
Oh my god.
Dude, what the fuck?
If you appreciate the political content we're throwing up, just be sure to like and
We're just
subscribe.
trying to gain a
You know what?
following from
You know what?
people.
Fuck the podcast. We're gonna become we're the new Ben Shapiro's of the internet.
So let's say hypothetically
We'll just-
that Fanta was a good soda.
Let's say
We're just gonna go ahead and toe the
Fanta was a good
line for the
soda,
rest of
and
this
that
episode.
root beer- and that root beer was a bad soda.
I'm just gonna
And-
say whatever gets me elected later. So, I'll change my mind too, especially if the party decides that it's different.
Oh god, it got political real quick. I was just
This isn't
making
political,
a joke.
this is
What were we
just
talking
shit.
about before this?
Let's shift
We're
away
talking
from
about Justice
politics.
League.
Getting on Ben
Yeah,
Shapiro.
what do you guys think about Kim Jong-un?
Listen,
Oh my
no
God.
religion,
He's
no
a cool guy.
politics. These are the rules for the podcast. No
No
religion,
G-force.
no politics.
All right, so this is the only podcast that will break both of those rules.
Yep.
No, you have to
Yeah.
delete
Talk
all of
about
that, mate.
G-force. G-force is both religion and politics.
Jen, you're gonna have to like edit things together so that your statement, like, yeah, like our president, is just the last words of the podcast, and then it's like an outro.
Or just cut it there and then cut to right now.
Penis.
Oh my god.
No, I'm just gonna edit my voice over everything offensive that we say. So it'll be earlier when I said the thing about God. It'll be like, oh yeah, but God is the best thing in the world.
No, you can't do that too. You can't take an opinion on
Yeah, you
it,
can't.
Oh.
You can't.
dumbass.
God's kind of
This
a
is
bit.
bad.
God is all right, I guess.
God, we have
poggers.
successfully cut off every possible group that could listen to our podcast. We're like,
Not
God
really.
sucks, President sucks, G4 sucks, Nick Cage is the best.
Those are the three people. The people who watch GeForce, the people
Non-President
who like
GeForce.
politics, and the people who like God. There's no one else on this planet.
I believe that.
If you don't like God, then that means that you love GeForce. That's just
You don't
like
like
a thing.
GeForce.
all Satanists like G-Force.
God Force.
What do you think
That's what the G
GeForce
stands
is?
for.
I think it stands for gerbil.
Oh.
Hey,
thought it
shut your
said-
mouth.
I thought
Guinea
it-
Force.
By the way, they're guinea pigs.
Guinea
So not
Force.
gerbils.
New Guinea.
New Guinea Force. It's just the New Guinea military. It's a Papua New Guinea military.
Papua New Guinea. You
They're
mean
just
Papua?
running around. Papua.
Papua New Guinea, not Papua
Papua?
New Guinea.
I can say it however I want. Stop oppressing me.
Wow, that was the most convenient cutout I've ever heard in my life. I can say
Stop
redacted,
oppressing me.
redacted.
Guys, on a real note, I really have a lot to say about Justice League.
Go for
you?
it.
It was
More
no,
movie
like,
reviews.
genuinely. I feel like it was. I don't know. They tried to do what the MCU did, but they tried to do it in one movie. Like they introduced in that movie
Mhm.
originally, they introduced like Aquaman, the Flash, and Cyborg in that one movie. Meanwhile, the MCU made a solo like Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and all that. But they tried to do it in one
DCU
movie. And
They
then
needed
so that's why it
sequels
took
before they
4
teamed up.
hours to make the movie even remotely okay. Because
What
they had to
was the
fit like 2
same-
movies into both of them.
Wasn't the only DC movies before that like Batman v Superman and Wonder Woman?
And Superman.
Yeah, and the Man of Steel
Superman
movie.
movies.
Oh yeah, I guess. But like
Wonder
Mar-
Woman.
Martha.
Martha!
It's just weird. I don't know.
Save Martha!
The DCU is just
Did you
fucking
say Martha?
whack.
That's my mom's name!
And also, I don't know if this was in the I don't know if this was in the original Justice League movie, but in the Snyder cut, they like make references to the Green Lantern Corps and stuff, but they don't do anything with it.
Ryan
Is the
Reynolds
old Green
pops
Lantern
in.
movie canon?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
but like they like
The one
talk
with
about
Ryan-
like
the one
Green
with Ryan
Lantern, like
Reynolds.
they don't talk about like the Green Lantern on like Earth, but they talk about like the Green Lantern being a thing that exists.
They
But
just
like
get
they don't
people
do
to
anything
pop
with
in.
it. Yeah, like they could have introduced a Green Lantern. I would have much rather seen Green Lantern than Cyborg, but I like how they made him a bigger part of the Snyder cut. I don't know, you guys haven't seen it, so I'm not going to spoil it that much.
I know the gist of it. I watched like a synopsis of it
You know,
because
the gist
I
is
need
that
to
it's
I
shit.
need to know if I'm gonna think it's worthwhile before I watch
I don't
it.
think any DC movies are worthwhile.
That's not
They're
true.
all pretty bad. The Wonder Woman
Woman-
movies are good.
Eh, all right.
And that's it.
And that's it.
I don't know. Wonder Woman.
I don't know, the Aquaman movie was pretty good.
No, it was Finding Nemo and The Little
Well,
Mermaid
yeah. What did I s-
and
yeah, what did I
literally
say?
every other ocean movie put together. Titanic.
And it was incredible.
No, it was a bad
I
movie.
loved the part where he found his dad.
If Nick Cage was in it.
Then
What if
we'd
Nick
get
Cage was
somewhere.
Aquaman's dad?
Finding Aquaman.
Finding
isn't there
Aqua
a
Dad.
character in Aquaman that is the like fuck, what is he? He's the Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. He is the best.
But you know what I sacrificed?
Me and you, we're not so different.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I made fruitcake.
I loved him in Spider-Man.
I
Oh.
made fruitcake for you.
We have fruitcake.
I want every movie that he's in just for him to do that exact same
Oh.
voice he did for Green Goblin.
Can we talk about how creepy he was in that movie? Because you remember Harry made Jane wear a black dress because he's like,
Yeah.
my dad likes black. And then they walk in and he's like, nice dress.
Nice
I'm the
dress,
Green
girl.
Goblin.
Nice to meet
It's
you.
really weird. That's your son's girlfriend. And you're like,
Godspeed,
Nice
Spider-Man.
Don't tell Harry, guys.
Don't tell him.
tell Harry.
That's what happened in the movie. I can reenact that entire final scene. He says,
Go for it.
"Godspeed, Spider-Man," and then Peter Parker does a backflip, and then it's shut, and then he looks at him and he's like, "Ugh," blood's flowing out of his mouth, and he's like, "Don't tell Harry."
Crash.
I just like the part where he goes in the chamber, the gas chamber, and he's like,
He looks like a zombie from the Call of Duty Zombies game.
get all strong, and then he comes out and his face is all creepy, and he like strangles the guy.
Yeah, I mean, they should have used. Willem Dafoe should have been Steve Rogers in the MCU, and they should have made that the scene where he becomes a super soldier.
They put the little gas in like the tank with him. Steve Rogers comes out the other side, and they're like, "He's a super soldier," and he's like,
He turns out to be Red Skull. Willem Dafoe should have been Red Skull.
Who does play Red Skull?
There's two different actors.
Oh, for the Infinity War Red Skull and then the old Red Skull? Yeah.
Two different people.
Yeah. Dude, Infinity War Red Skull is cool. You can tell he's been through some shit.
He has no
gets
legs.
to fly now. Yeah.
Once you get sucked into an Infinity Stone, you just...
It all goes uphill from there.
You pull...
He loses his legs, he gets flight powers. Guess what that means? No more leg cramps? Yeah? Uh-huh.
MJ's dad and Red Skull get along really well.
You can't make that joke.
It's an inside joke. Nobody gets it. So
I know. You have to keep it an inside joke. We're going to offend people.
It's an inside joke.
The Red Skull, he gets to float anywhere he wants. He doesn't have to walk. His legs never get tired. He never has to do leg day.
He just stands around all day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is a downside, but like there's some benefits. But
so we're at an hour.
He has to stand around all day, but he never gets tired in the legs.
He has to fly. He has to float around all day.
He's a platypus. They don't do much.
So we've reached an hour. Start wrapping it up.
We've reached an hour. Somebody end the cast.
Okay, I'll just cut it right here. Bye.
Wait.
All right,
No,
we stopped the recording.
We all have to. At the end of every podcast, we have to decide what the title is going to be collectively.
Do we really?
Did we do that last time? I thought we did.
Yeah, I guess we can.
We still have 10
minutes before we're at the same time as last time.
No, this is a strategy because now we have to make our viewers wait around until the end of the cast to hear how we came up with the title.
So let's do this real quick.
Let's do this shit. Balance.
As all things should be.
Perfect.
No, I'm gonna say.
As all things should be. That's what it should be called.
I'm gonna call it Gamers God and Green Goblin.
Yes.
Yeah, to be fair, 80% of the
Let's also
podcast is gonna have to be edited out, so have fun with that, Jay.
Gamers Gods and Green Swastikas.
Oh,
God.
damn it.
Although I did like
Gamers-
Triple G.
No, Gamers God and Pineapple Fanta.
Nah, Green Goblin.
Gamers Green Goblin and Green Fanta.
Nah, the soda thing was only like a solid 3 minutes of the podcast. We don't.
It was an
talk about
important topic, though.
Oh well, I'm cutting it out. So.
Oh, okay.
You guys all know that I'm not willing enough to take the time to edit out anything.
Oh God.
Well, it's okay. You said most of it. So.
You know, I take full responsibility.
Gamers
I don't like
God and
Nazis.
Green Goblin. That's a good one.
You
True,
can quote
we
me on that.
hate
I
Nazis here.
will not stand for these Nazis.
You know what?
We hate Nazis.
Let's just make that the title.
We don't even like red.
We're gonna need the whole episode based on something very minor that I said. You know what? Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I like Gamers God and the Green Goblin.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Same.
Easy, GG.
All right. Yeah, thank everybody for watching. Be
When
sure
are they
to
gonna make a hard
like and
mode for
subscribe or
podcasting?
something.
When's the music gonna come in?
Oh,
When's the
it
music
probably
coming
already
in?
came in.
Oh,
It's gonna fade.
Oh shit. Oh, it's eating me. Oh, my ass.
Music is eating us up.